everybody.
Hi.
We are Twinset and Purl.
This is episode 68.
I'm Jo.
I'm Rachel. And we've just literally recorded our East Anglia Yarn Festival chat haul video. So, I don't know, I feel a bit like...
So we decided to do it that way round because so it was kind of in order chronologically, but also I think if you do a full podcast and then you do the haul's going to be a bit whereas all the new stuff in the podcast keeps you going.
Yeah. Cool, it does. So
what's been happening?
Just if you are new here, welcome. And we are twins who design together as Twinset and Purl, and we have new patterns to talk about today. And
I'm just looking at what you're wearing.
Yeah, we will talk about what we're wearing. But first of all, we'll just talk about how's your week? How's your 2 weeks been since? Well, it's not. Is it 2 weeks?
Yeah,
because you got here on Wednesday. It's like 10 days.
And I had because I have had a weekend with my husband.
In between.
I'm trying to think what happened the week after we got back from Norfolk.
Not much happened for me, except
I was tired on the Monday, so I worked from home rather than going into the office, and that kind of like unsettled my week a bit.
Because Jo has to go in 2 days.
I have to go in 2 days a week. So then I went in on Tuesday and Wednesday. And I didn't have a desk, so like if you haven't booked your desk at least 2 weeks before, you're not getting a desk. But they have got some like breakout areas and places. It's a very lovely office. It's been refurbished since COVID.
You had a little pod.
Yeah, I had a little booth all to myself, and it was lovely. So then the weekend. Chris and I went
I think you had quite a busy weekend.
Oh, we did. We went to a restaurant called Six by Nico, there's quite a few of them around the country. We'd never been to one before. And they have they base an idea.
Thursday night?
That was when? Thursday night. But basically they do like 6 courses. And you get there's like add-ons you can have of other courses and snacks.
There's one in Oxford as well.
And they take a concept and it runs for so many weeks. I'm guessing 6 weeks because I'm thinking 6 and 6 and 6, everything's 6. But we went to the one called the Chippy, and his parents owned a chip shop in Glasgow, and it was his like homage to his background. And it was delicious. There was a very high maintenance woman sat next to me.
You people watching?
Well, no, they were on the table next to us, and she was so high maintenance, she just couldn't help it.
No,
but
I always get told off for people watching whenever we go out.
They left halfway through. She decided she was full halfway through, and they went.
She was weird.
So Chris and I were trying to work out whether they were on a date, whether it was a date.
Where's my ring gone?
Whether it was a date or whether it was a
forget about it for now.
Or whether they were like how long they'd been together or whatever. He seemed very understanding anyway. But it was delicious, and I would recommend giving it. It's quite it's a treat, so it's it's a bit more expensive than you possibly would. But for we did it because we don't actually go out and eat together very often. We tend to eat at home, and it was something new, so we went and tried that. And then the weekend, my husband's been really irritating me lately. So I have one weekend with her, one weekend with him, one weekend with her, one weekend with him. And the last 2 weekends with him, he's organised stuff without me. I'm like, what's the point of that? You do it on the weekend, I'm not there. Yeah. But I mean, it's a football match, so you can't. He's got no control over when a football match is. But so he went off to watch football.
And you went out with your friend.
And I went out with my friend. Which was lovely. But you know,
That's not the point, is it?
not the point. And then this week, I came here on Wednesday because I went to London yesterday for a conference, the Women in Data conference. 3,500 women who all work in data, and it was quite amazing. It was very inspiring, and they were talking about things like the gender equality gap and neurodiversity, how they're using data for good, working with the police,
AI stuff.
lots of AI.
And I got a bar of chocolate. And
yeah, there were some freebies. So I also so I work with lots of people obviously, and everybody's busy. We don't get a chance to see people. And me and my friend Sally have been trying to organise a lunch for about a month, and her kid was ill. She didn't come in the office. All these things happened. So anyway, I was going up. I didn't even know she was going to be there. And we were going up the escalator, and Jo! So we got to sit, we got to chat all day, so it was lovely. Cool. We had to wear something red. They asked you to wear something red. And I decided I was going to wear this jumper, because it's a new jumper. And so I painted my nails red. I wore red earrings and a red handbag and red lipstick. And it was great. There's some people, they were like full on, all head to toe red.
You look like a Virgin cabin crew.
But by the end of the day, it was almost like too much red. But it was really lovely, and it was great to see all those people together, working towards. So they have girls in data, women in data, and it's about getting more girls into STEM subjects.
That's really good call. Really good.
Yeah. So. Because we know that when you have diversity and everybody's represented, better solutions come out of things. So there's a whole load of stuff about women's health and how women have been missed out of, that people don't do their studies with a gender bias or gender
there is a gender
split
bias.
or whatever, and you just get the wrong answers.
You do. Or different answers.
So
the answer that isn't appropriate to women. Basically.
Yeah. So yeah, it was a really good day. And then you picked me up and we went out for dinner.
Yeah.
So that was really nice too.
So
and I wore my Alexander.
And I had the opposite kind of week, really. I'm all right now. I went to the A&E in an ambulance on Friday night. In very much pain, but it's all under control now, and I have to go and I think I've got a gallstone. Well, I know I've got gallstones. So yeah.
But not related to your other...
No. So if the only problem is the, they have to know, that what you've got.
Oh yeah.
So, but it was, my poor husband, he was amazing, and neither of us got hardly any sleep. I definitely got more than him once I was pain free, and he was there all night with me. Well, actually that's not true. I woke him up at 2 a.m, telling him I was ringing an ambulance. And they were amazing, but neither of us could quite believe that something else is now happening to me. But apart from that, I did have a positive day on Friday before the pain started. I was interviewed for the radio, for a radio show in Greenwich in London. It's like Southeast and Kent and stuff. It broadcasts to, called Maritime Radio.
You can get it on digital.
Yeah,
a digital radio. And
eventually it will be a podcast on this guy. He's called Trevor Blackman. Now
I listened to it back on the replay. It's a bit difficult. Show. No, you have to
find it.
There's a guy. So it was on at midday.
Yeah,
and it was the guy.
So the recording was 3 hours, 10 till 1. So the last hour of that was me, and then the next hour of his show isn't me. So if you want to listen to me,
Yeah,
but
you
it's
go to
basically
the guy before Bob.
yeah,
Somebody.
basically me talking about. It was to do with the government's welfare reforms, and I tell the whole story of being diagnosed with cancer and what I've been through and what I think of the welfare reform. So with a little bit of prompting from Trevor, who's a lovely man. And if you want to go and listen to it, you can. And then the rest of the weekend I was recovering from being in A&E, and but I am okay. Don't worry about me any more than you do already. And yeah.
And then today we had something nice happen this morning, didn't we?
Oh yes, something amazing. So Joe and I were knitting in my bed together. Just sat drinking our drinks.
Rachel wasn't knitting; she was watching reels.
Oh yeah, and popped up. Mr. B, Birdstreet Yarn, has tagged you in a reel. So I thought, oh, he's talking about the other thing we're going to talk about in a minute. So I looked at it, and it wasn't. It was a massive surprise for us, and it's so wonderful. I don't know if you've seen it already. They've created a colourway for us. A surprise, and we didn't know anything about it. It comes out. It's in their shop update this week, but
which is Tuesday evening.
Tuesday the 1st of April. But go and have a look. If you're on Instagram, go and have a look at their reel and see. And they say such lovely things about us. It made us cry. And well, Joe's gets really emotional very easily, and if I'm with her, I do as well.
Thanks, hormones.
So, oh yeah, we can't wait to get our hands on some. So so I posted it in our stories as well, so you can see it that way.
Yeah.
So thanks, John and Claire. We love you. We think you're amazing.
Yeah.
And we love your yarn, and we can't believe that we've got a colourway. So it's called Twinset and Purl, all one word.
The Claire shawl came out while we were at East Anglia.
Oh yeah, it did. We haven't got one.
No, I've got one at home.
Oh, you didn't bring it?
No.
Yes, no, thanks for all the Claire shawl love.
Yeah.
And I do want to knit one eventually.
Ruth's knitting one without the stripes, and it still looks really good.
So what are you? The texture's amazing, isn't it? Because it's like John.
Yeah.
You know.
With eyelets.
So what? Should we move on from?
Yeah.
So there's been highs and lows this week, but we're back, and I'm wearing my fizzy pop, which I think looks this shade of navy looks amazing with this murky green. So it's got some mohair on the pops, very subtle in my case. If you go and look at the pattern, Joe's got a green one, green cowl. Is it? No. Is it a green cowl?
Yeah.
Yeah. This is knitting shed. Beautiful. They dyed this colourway for the two skeins for me in Winterfell. No, that's called Winterfell. La Bien-Aimée. It kind of went together, didn't it? Yeah, Winter Storm, Winterfell. So I had this skein of La Bien-Aimée mohair that I just wanted something to make. I wanted to make one of these, and I interviewed lots of yarns to go with it, and this is what hit. And I think I knitted it in a weekend. You challenged me to knit it one bank holiday weekend, and I did. So it's amazing. It's just over one skein, 1 1/3, I would say. But you get this lovely, and then it's got this lovely border of rib. So you knit the pops. The only thing is that if you knit the shawl version, you get to knit a lot more pops, and I enjoy knitting the pops, so might have to knit another one. I do like it. I love a cowl though, so I think it looks. I'm going to be wearing it for the rest of the day. because we're going out in a bit after this.
Excuse me. I'm
you're
wearing Alexander. So this is a new design. We shared it.
Where have you been? If you haven't
Yeah,
seen
we
it?
shared it in the last proper podcast episode. It's tin pigment in the dark charcoal and the natural tweedy colour.
And it's coming out in 3 weeks' time.
Coming out at Easter weekend. So you have 4 days of 4 days of discounts.
We haven't shown that. And we haven't talked about it.
No, but we're talking about what we're wearing,
Oh, okay.
and then
Sorry.
yeah. So Alexander will be coming out soon.
We
I
did actually
absolutely love
talk about what we were going to talk about before we started,
Yeah.
didn't we?
But we'd always start with what we're wearing
I
first.
know, but I'm being a bit dim.
Yeah, you are. Stop it. So I'm giving this one away, and I love it so much.
But you've made the decision.
I know, and I wore it yesterday, and it was just so like striking.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
It's gorgeous.
So anyway, right. So what's next?
I think we'll talk about this because we forgot to talk about it.
Yes.
So we did our East Anglia haul, and we bought a present for you guys.
Yeah.
And we forgot to show it and say what you have to do to get it. So,
Rachel's going to put a little thing on the end of the
other one
video
to tell you to watch this, and then we want you just to say, what do you want them to say?
What are you going to be knitting for spring?
Yeah, mention spring.
Yeah.
And
Oh, sorry.
you will be entered into the giftaway. So the first thing we bought was this kind of
I couldn't resist.
notions,
double pointed
needles or long bit more pencil, for crochet hooks for notions.
We couldn't resist the two sheepies.
No. Either black sheep or
Black
white
sheep or the white sheep. I don't know. What do you think?
And then me being the person I am, thought maybe somebody would like to get organised and write their projects in a book. And this is from Tilly Flop, who does amazing cards and
knitting related
tea towels and things that you can make into things.
Yeah, knitting related gifts, really,
Mhm.
aren't they? All
And sewing and
gifts,
stuff.
but also useful things.
So there's little quotes. There's a page for what your project is, and then a page for if you want to make other notes or draw out a thing or anything like that. And they alternate between squares, plain and dots and lines and rules. Yeah, there's a ruler. And then there's every now and again there's little quotes. Oh, I love this one. Properly practiced, knitting soothes the troubled spirit, and it doesn't hurt the untroubled spirit either. Elizabeth Zimmerman. So, Knitting Without Tears is her book, from her book. Yeah, so that is part of the giftaway.
And then,
I think because of the weight of it, we may limit it to the UK. Do you think? Or no, we'll just we'll send it wherever you are.
And then there's a Manian
Florrie little sock bag, kind of
drawstring
bag.
project bag, and some yarn which isn't from Manian.
So then I found this while I was sorting out some stuff, and in a minute we're going to talk about the sock cowl that we've got on at the moment. And I found so I knitted some samples for Sophie from Botanical Yarn. And this is what's left over. So there's enough to make another pair of socks in each of these colourways, I think, because there's 2 minis and
obviously depending on the size of your foot.
Yeah.
How long a foot you need or how long a leg you like. But you could do short. Definitely, you can definitely do short.
And you could stripe these in the leg or something.
Yeah.
So there's this one and this one, and I think one was Woolfolk last year at Rhinebeck, and the other one was, I can't remember.
It seems Christmassy with the...
Yeah, but it's got purple and stuff on the thing.
It wasn't Quality Street.
I don't know, because I did them at the same time.
Oh, right.
I think. Yeah. So those will be part of the prize. And we thought that So you could use them. You could join the cal. You could knit. Not that any of my socks in the sock club had different coloured heels and toes, but you can you can do that. And I just thought that would be a nice.
Yeah. So tell us what you're knitting for spring, and you'll be entered into the prize to get that.
I'm going to talk about the next yarn. Well, we're not going to Wonderwool.
I'm away.
You're away. I don't want to go.
Your driver's not available,
and I don't want to go. So the next yarn show for us is Big.
Sorry, 1 second. We'll be making the draw for that before we podcast.
Yeah.
Just before we podcast again.
Yeah.
So in a couple of weeks.
It will be 2 weeks, won't it?
It will be 2 weeks. So you've got till 2 weeks to
next 2 weeks to comment.
Yeah.
So I'm drinking today out of my Flock mug, which was given to me by all the knitsters, me and Jo and Claire and Bex have one. And we're going to Big Flock, and we're going to be showing. We've got a stand. So that's really exciting. We've also got 3 of our samples at the Woolly Good gathering in Edinburgh next weekend. We've sent. You heard from the lady?
No. Torn away from me.
Was the
OG Cecil,
OG Morris.
OG Simon, and OG Morris have all gone up for a holiday to Edinburgh, and they have an atelier where they hang people's samples. And I saw a post from Jeanette Sloan. She's sending 3 samples.
Yeah, so there'll be. If you're going.
Yeah,
go and have
a look in there. So somebody looks after them all the time, and so they'll be on show. So if you're going, you could go and try on the OG, one of the OGs.
And then we're hoping they're going to get back in time. They will.
Yeah,
the Big Flock, because we're having a
stand at Big Flock. So they've got a designers area. So we've got a stand. We've bought all of our.
Yeah, we bought it all now.
Yeah.
All
our display.
Yeah.
Oh, we've got one more thing to buy, haven't we? The sign.
Have you ordered the sign? No, I haven't ordered the sign.
And we've got to get some business cards. Do all that kind of stuff. Proper business stuff.
Yeah. And so we're very excited about it. And we're just going to have QR codes. You're not going to be able to actually purchase patterns from us, because
we might do a bit of market research just to find out if people are interested
in either buying the patterns or like paying for them and getting a PDF. But we're not sure how all that works, because we're a bit naive. We only use Ravelry, as you know. So that's exciting. We've got 2 days there, and it all feels like it's coming together now, because we've booked the hotel, we booked, we've bought the stuff, so hopefully.
So that's the
18th and 19th
of May.
And I said something that was going to lead on to something else. Can't remember.
Podcasting. There's a podcast.
Yeah, you can come and meet. We're going to very kindly, our lovely Maggie is going to look after it, after the stand, while we go and be podcasters. Although I did say to her, what if you want to meet podcasters? She is doing a class though, so she may not be available, but come and say hello to us anyway. And if you haven't heard of Big Flock, it's a brand new yarn show in Bristol, in an amazing venue. The food looks amazing. I posted their reel into our stories the other day of the food. It's like as if you need another reason to go, but it looks amazing. There's loads of places to stay nearby. It's a 2-day show, and
the venue, the location is really good. It's right near the motorway.
Yeah,
tickets. So not like a couple of minutes from the motorway.
Tickets are available now.
There's lots of cheaper hotel, the kind of Holiday Inn
Inn
Express,
and-
that kind of hotel.
I'm sure there's B&Bs and stuff around as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, so can't wait. It's going to be here before we know it, because it's April next week.
Yeah. And I've got really busy April because I'm going to see Dad.
That's what I was going to say about April. April 1st, we are increasing the price of our patterns. They're all going to increase by £1. So socks are going to be £5 and cowls. Shawls are going to be £6 and sweaters are going to be £7. And
apart from the ones with a shawl and a cowl, we're going to put them up £2.
Yeah. Because Alexander's going to be a shawl and a cowl pattern, isn't it? In one, so that'll be £7. And I'm still not decided on how much I'm going to increase the price of the ebooks, but if you use your podcast bonus, which is in the show notes below, you will still get 20% off. So
yeah,
we've been nearly May. It will be 5 years since we released our first pattern, and we haven't put our prices up. So, and we've got lots of feedback from people saying that they think our patterns are worth it. You're worth it. So that's what's going to happen. So you have until Tuesday.
Yeah.
Whenever it takes me to start changing all the patterns.
How many are there?
100 and something.
Ooh, I'm working. She's got to do that.
I have got to do it. It's fine. Don't mind doing it. But you've got until over the week, say the Monday, to buy any patterns you want at the lower rate. And that's the admin, I think. What do you think? Any more admin?
Don't think so. So, what are we talking about first? FOs?
Do you want to talk about your FO that you haven't got anymore?
Well, I could talk about that when we're talking about
Oh yeah, do you want to talk about,
Paige.
should we talk about the cowl, or should I just do this quickly, because we've
Just
seen
do
them
those
before?
quickly.
Okay, so I finished this is the only FO I've got. I finished my point prim socks. So this yarn has come all the way from Prince Edward Island in Canada, from Fleece and Harmony, and they're a very good podcast, by the way. And this is the sea glass colourway, and it was given as a gift from my lovely friend Maggie, who went and visited last year. And it's such lovely yarn. It's not got any nylon, it's sock yarn, but it's mohair.
I wonder
Woolen
if it's
mohair.
similar to the mohair sock from...
No, because they mill it themselves, don't they?
No, I know they mill it themselves, but why would it be different from the mohair sock?
I don't know, it just...
From the wool.
This is a 2-ply, and it was quite splitty.
Right. Okay.
But no, much smoother than that is. This is, but so cosy. Like, imagine a pair of mittens in it would be amazing, because when you put it's so fluffy inside. So anyway, I finished those, and I actually went and looked on the website to buy some more yarn, but the shipping was the same as the cost of a skein of yarn.
You'd have to buy a few to make it worthwhile.
So
perhaps you could have
they had some nice colours though.
Perhaps if anybody wants some, you could all club together and get a shipment.
But
as long as it doesn't go over £135.
But also,
is it £135?
I don't need
No, you don't.
yarn. So
No.
sock yarn. So I've got plenty from everywhere. So yeah, that's my only FO. I desperately tried hard to finish. I was going to finish my Myloma socks as well, but when I was chatting to Maggie, she was like, "Why do you need to finish them? Who's pressurising you? Knit what yarn?" So that's what I did. And yeah, so that is only my 6th finished pair of socks this year.
No.
Yeah. So I'm gonna, if I only do 2 pairs a month, it's 24 pairs of socks in a year. I better get on it. I like to at least 50. So we shall see. I have got 4 pairs on the needles. So. Right, so what are you talking about?
I'm on my 2nd pair.
No, you've
Third
knitted
pair.
one. You haven't finished. You didn't finish. You
That's
knitted.
not the only socks I've done this year, though.
You knitted one.
Didn't I finish some for at the beginning of the year?
Did you finish your Mammy and Flory ones? Do you have some Mammy and Flory?
No.
I can't remember, Joe. That's why you need a notebook.
Yeah. Oh well.
What are we talking about now?
Paige. So I finished. My FO is a Paige,
Which is one of the
power of three, the garter one. I've gifted it to a friend who retired.
Well, it was always
week.
for her.
It was always for her. So I'd started this one.
Have you got the yarn? The bit you had left?
No.
No.
I started this one. You did yours first.
Yeah.
And
So
then
I cast on this in Isaiah Soft Fine.
and I saw it and was like, right, I need that. We're going to the
Yeah, that's after the last podcast.
Yeah.
We went to the Oxford
we
Yarn
went to
store.
Oxford Yarn store. No, the one before that.
Oh right, okay.
Because we have shown it already.
Oh yeah, the
So I knit this much of the my lilac one, and then I was looking on the Oxford Yarn store website for other colours, and I found the colour that would go with Connie's coat, and so I started knitting that for her, and I showed the yarn on the last podcast and what I'd done. And then I didn't have this one with me. This was the other colour that I bought.
Gorgeous.
So I thought I'd show that. This is colourway 28 in the Isaiah Soft Fine.
And is that going to be a page as well?
Yes.
Beautiful.
Part of me was tempted to knit a Simon, but I didn't have enough. I thought I might have some left over, but I didn't.
Oh, with the other yarn.
Or to get some beige of that, and knit a Simon cowl.
One would probably be enough.
Quite tempted. Pardon me. So yeah, that is gorgeous colour.
So this is how far I.
Would you call that chili pepper?
Yeah, or rust. Something like that.
But then I'm also tempted like that.
Yeah. So this is how much I've done. I've just finished. I'm like 8 rows off finishing the middle,
Oh right,
and then I'll start the decreases.
cool.
So
And I've done hardly any of my lilac one because
talked about
obviously
that.
I was doing the other one, but in fact I've done section 1. But I think this is such a lovely Eastery colour.
Yeah.
That I'm going to have to, and these are my tulip stitch progress keepers from Ethel and Joe. I can't really see it on there. There's the other ones.
Yeah, I really want to get mine finished, but
I've
also got Alexander's.
yeah. So that's kind of, well, I haven't done very much on that, but I plan to do.
And mine's living in my lovely little. Oh, I think there's like the zip goes really well with the yarn, and that Claire made me that for Christmas. My Birdstreet tag,
And this is mine's in my doll 10. No, what's it called?
Doll Designs.
Yeah, what's doll 10?
I don't know.
I think it's a makeup brand. Anyway, this is Ted Knits.
EK's
sister makes these bags, and I've shown it a few times. I love it's like a bowl style. I absolutely love
gorgeous.
it. I love the fabric.
I think he said he's going to have
Some they're gonna, her mum had found.
which show is he
Some.
at?
I think he's going to be on his
Website.
website. Yeah, that's her logo. Yeah, cool. Right, that's Paige. What's next?
Calsock.
Calsock. So, until I had to get on and crack on and finish Connie's page, I was doing half an hour of this every day.
Yeah.
And this is my plumberry sock. Do you want to put up the pattern on your phone, because I couldn't show it very well last time. Well, maybe you can probably see it on the actual sock. So I'm on the 4th repeat of 5 for the leg, and it's a really nice. I'm really liking the pattern. It's quite a. It's a bit of a. It's the same kind of family as the Shawl. Oh, feather and fan.
Yeah. I don't know if you can see. That's better.
Yeah, you kind of do decreases and then yarn overs together and then decreases. But that's what it looks like when it's sort of stretched out a bit. So there's 6 rows where you're doing yarn overs and you've kind of got to concentrate, and then 6 rows where you're doing a couple of purl stitches, but the rest is just knitting. So it's quite a nice relaxing pattern. I'm back on my flexi flips, which I'm really happy about. And this is the yarn. So it's from Botanical Yarn, and it's her coronation colourway from when King Charles was crowned. And it came with 2 minis, which I'm not using. I'm just going to knit. In this, it came with a gold mini and a purple mini, I think they were. But I'm really loving the yarn, and you get the odd. It's more than a blip. Yeah, so you get some blips. Like, where has it gone? Little blue blip there. But then you also get some of these areas where it's more of a string of colours.
There's some navy blue in there, that's lovely.
Yeah, no, I love it.
I must have that as well somewhere.
Yes, you definitely have. So now that I've got no pressure knitting, I will be doing
back to doing that in the morning.
Yes.
So I did the first week after the show. I was very good at my half an hour of everything.
Oh, and that's in my Hohi sock. Is it called a sock sack?
Santa Cruz. Is it not Santa Cruz? Is it Santa Cruz? I think it is.
Yeah.
Mini,
In blush.
Santa Cruz mini. And I am doing the Rosa Coca Loco socks, which was November 2023. Maggie and I are having a mini knit along. She's finished hers. Well, she's on the second sock, I think. She was on with Gusset when I was chatting yesterday. So this is a lovely cable that runs down the side.
Do you need 2 cable needles to do it?
No, it's simple. It's just lots of cables on top of each other.
Right.
Going different ways. It's very simple. Just follow the pattern, you'll be fine. There was a slight update. We realised that I had got my knit 2 and purl 2 the wrong way round. I've changed it and I will update that. And I've just done my heel flap in the mini that came with this yarn, which is Botanical Yarn Flower of the Month, which was Carnation for January 2022, I think, whichever year it was, which I love, and it's beautiful. It's got these speckles.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I picked up one side of this. I'm right in the middle of. Never would I normally do that. Stop there, but I think I had to go out. So yeah. So these were the ones. This is the pattern that I wanted to knit again desperately, because I didn't actually ever have. Sophie's got the socks, so I didn't finish the pair.
Yeah.
And that is living in my newest sock, I suppose, leather sock.
How are you finding it?
From Mood. I love it. The handles are nice and paddy, and the pockets inside are really useful, especially if you've got a cable needle and it's not closed, if you know what I mean. But it's not squishy enough to go in a bag.
Oh, you need to keep squishing it.
Yeah.
Or because the leather will soften down, won't it?
So it's I think a lovely, like you could start a shawl off in it easily, and it's definitely good value.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's Mood, M-U-U-D. And yeah. What have you got now? Just
Alexander and the new one.
That's at the end though, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So I'll just quickly show you. That's a new cast on. Oh, wound it to do the cowl. And I'm on my second, so I showed my first myeloma sock as a hoe last time. And I've started the second one and I'm on the heel, I'm just on the heel flap. So and these knit themselves, they whiz along. You want to do the pattern repeat over and over again. So yeah, so that, but this pattern won't be out until June for myeloma awareness week, but I'm in control this year. And
yeah, because the cowl's going to knit like
this will knit me so quickly because it's so chunky. I've just got to get around to doing the swatch to know what my gauge is and how many stitches I need and stuff like that. But that will definitely be started before the next podcast, and that's living in my little grey girl
neon bunny.
Yes, beautiful bunnies with gold. We realised the stars are sparkly gold.
I didn't realise that.
No.
Nice.
I think I need a bigger one.
What if my cat
The
one's
same.
got gold stars?
I want a bigger bag in this material. That big. Please make me one gem for big flock. Oh no, Dad, I'll just do this one. So I was supposed to knit my dad a pair of DKs, the DK, so I knitted him the 4-ply yarn that he sent me. That
You can't find the DK.
The DK is in one of the box tubs, what do we call them?
Like the clear bins
that
that
all
you can
got
stack.
It was all sorted out when we had the heat pump. Not really sorted out, shoved into boxes.
Which is why you didn't know where it is.
No, and I just didn't want to hunt through them to find
Yeah.
it. So I had this skein of yarn for him already wound up into a ball because it's a commercial ball of yarn, so I wound up. And this is James C. Brett Funny Feet is the Z, and it's got bamboo, so it's got a lovely shine to it. And it's called Azure.
So is it wool, nylon and bamboo, or acrylic?
I mean, it's fine.
Nylon
I'm just
and
going to find
bamboo.
the information because
Lovely colours.
if you get it from, I was actually thinking of from Wool Warehouse. Sorry, people. It's $5.99, I think, a ball. And they've got some lovely colours, 10 shades. So I think they actually
$5.99 ball, yeah.
show it knitted up now. And it's got 25 bamboo, 50 wool and 25 polyamide. And it feels slightly thin. I think if I was knitting for myself, I would probably go down to a 2.25. But for Dad, I just didn't know. It's quite loose, but I think they could be like summer socks. But I quite like this colour.
Do you not think it would make a nice Alexander?
It would probably.
With a tone, with a solid.
So this one's called Azure Lake. But I quite like Moody Skies and Evening Shore. So
let me have a look.
So this is how it knits up. So it's got 5
Evening Sun, Evening Shore.
Yeah. It's got 5 big stripes with a white stripe in between. Navy to blues to green.
Evening Shore's got a red in it when
Yeah.
you open up the...
And then it has a small stripe going back through the colours, and then you do the colours again.
Oh, it's cool.
So I quite like it, and I think he'll love the blue and the green. So yeah, so that's I mean, it is commercial. The colours do kind of jog a little bit, but you know, it's commercial sock yarn. So yeah, I'm just on the heel. Just literally just started the heel flap. So I will carry on those, but they'll have to be posted to him because they won't be finished before Joe goes. And I'm using my little twill and print Yo progress keeper, which is quite cute, yarn over with glitter. Yeah, so, and you would get 10% off that as well if you bought the...
I'm just wondering if he did it with plain.
Oh, so like just solid colours.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's nice. But
I don't think he does.
so that is that sock, and then I've got Alexander.
Oh, excuse me.
Should we
Excuse
do
me.
Alexander?
Yeah. Sorry. Distracted by trying to find the tonal version of...
Or we can
So-
have a look when we go to the Abingdon. in a
Yeah,
minute.
so this Alexander is the large size.
Mhm. I'm knitting the medium. You're knitting
And
the
the small. So I decided to knit the small. I think I've talked about it last time because I'm using Kumo.
You have talked about that.
And there's only 300 meters,
Mhm.
so he's not going to do. I don't think he will do a medium.
No.
I also, it's been used, so there's probably less than 300 meters.
Yeah.
Didn't weigh it, but anyway. And I'm using Madeline Tosh Light in the kitten colourway.
It's beautiful.
Which I'm loving.
And you have to just see the bag, the yarn bag combo.
I just love it when everything matches.
I think if you looked at that and looked at that, you'd think that's Rachel's and that's Joe's.
Yeah. So this is, I'm halfway with my ice cream. Got those from Ethel and Joe
They're really cool.
as well. Ice cream stitch stoppers.
Let me hold it out
I'm halfway.
to see the close up of the pattern.
So it's going to be
Gorgeous.
it's going to be long enough, isn't it?
Yeah, because you're going to do 9 inches in the middle.
Yeah.
It'd be lovely. Yeah, because you need to be able to tie it.
Yeah.
up.
So
Yeah. And I am not halfway.
Oh,
I have
excuse
slipped.
me.
I have let
What's
it.
wrong with me?
I've let it. I've dropped the ball because I am also doing a secret project for Wonderwool. Somebody at Wonderwool, and so when I can talk about it, I will. But that's what I've been kind of working on as well. So I, how many stripes do I do in section 3? 3.
Yeah.
I think I'm halfway through section 3.
Mm-hmm.
But this is mine, and my colour, this is a sample for Birdstreet Yarn.
So the large has 11 sections.
This has
the
9.
medium has 9 and the small has 7.
And I'm using the yak base in Barricane and Hepburn. It's beautiful, and it looks lovely together. And I also, I think it looks fine now. I was knitting along. I'm looking at that, and I held it up to the light, and it looked just a bit wrong about there. And I'd done a knit stitch in the middle of a purl.
Lost your concentration.
Yeah, or purled instead of knitted on the
Yeah.
inside. So what I did, dropped down, and then I was.
It's a bit faff, isn't it?
It is.
Got to stitch.
You keep having to, you have to turn it. I had to turn it over because when I was doing the pearls, picking up them, I was twisting it somehow. So I was doing that, and it must have been at least
30.
Yeah, 30 rows. But I did it, and it looks, doesn't it? Doesn't look.
You can't tell.
I was thinking it might have to be blocked. Oh, there, look. There's a slightly wider. But when it'll block out. Nice.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that is now.
Well, I blocked mine, but
Yeah.
more because of the rustic yarn. I wanted to wash it. So
I'm
if
gonna
you don't need to wash it, you could steam block, because you do get a bit of a curve on.
But
the
the
ends,
gart's
so
so
you-
squishy, you don't want to flatten it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is going to be a priority. My other thing is a priority, and there's one more priority.
I don't know why I've got the yawns. I
There's one more
apologise.
priority. I can't remember. Anyway, this is living in my bee bag from Dolly Hot Dogs, which I was knitting this and talking to my dad, and he's got this bag, and I was showing him.
What does he keep in his bag?
His has got pens in it, and we were discussing. He said, "Have you got the 3 and 3? But have you got 6 bees on your bag?" I said, "You had the same bag, Dad." And then I said, "And I've got this little," and he said, "I haven't got one of those on my zip, so I'm going to give it you to take for him."
Have you got another one?
No, but he needs it for his. He's obsessed with bees because his company was AB Woodworking, so you can surprise him with a little bee.
Yeah, cool.
And I've just got a new thing to show. You can show your. Do you want me to show my thing? That's my very simple, very, very simple. It's living in my Tweedy bag. Close your eyes. Hold out your hand.
Oh.
It's the Simon socks. You like it?
Yeah, I do.
So this is what I was saying. I was chatting to Maggie yesterday. This is like full disclosure, behind the scenes of a podcast. And I was saying to her, do you think that people want new cast-ons and new content rather than you talking about, oh, this is my page and I've done 30 rows on it? And obviously we talk about what we've been knitting on in the last 2 weeks, but you people also deserve some new content. So I stopped knitting on my Loma sock, which doesn't have to be done until June, and cast on the Simon sock. So I'm not sure when this pattern will be ready.
You have to purl.
You have to purl, and you have to do about 80 rows for the leg, but I personally think they're worth it. So yeah, so I'm using...
Do you reckon you could put that on the bottom of the foot?
The bottom?
So like normally you wouldn't put...
What you do is you just do stripes on the bottom of the foot and then you block it and it's fine.
Yeah, but why not have that on? That's not going to irritate the bottom of your foot, is it?
I don't know. I wouldn't have thought so.
So you could just do the pattern
all the way around. Do you think?
I think it would be lovely. You have to do more on the bottom as well.
Yeah. So that's what I'm slightly worried about. I've got 60 something grams of that, which is normally enough for me to knit a pair of socks without different coloured heels and toes and stuff. And then this is the Colin colourway from Botanical Yarn.
Oh yeah.
And this is the aloe, the Kremke Edelweiss,
which was in that.
which was in the Simon Cowell that I knitted. So yeah, so those are my...
And you've got
Simon
60
socks.
grams of that left.
Yeah.
Wow.
And that's got over 100 grams. So...
Oh, they're lovely. What happens on the jog?
Nothing.
Little tiny bit where you can feel where you...
Oh, so just you have to carry the yarn up.
Cool.
Yes.
Are you enjoying them?
I am enjoying them.
I was thinking about about Alexander socks.
They'd be easy to do. Yeah, so...
Or a Simon hat, I was also thinking about.
That'd be easy. I've written the pattern for in the round. And also mittens, Simon mittens. But they are Simon socks coming first. So keep them peeled.
Deep and peeled.
And then
So-
Jo has got an exciting new
Wow, I'm
concept.
hoping people
for
are going to
you.
like it. This is in my floral bag from Fruitful Fusions, a lovely Ishrat. Although I don't think Ishrat makes the bags. She doesn't. They're
No,
made
she's-
by Atelier des
Machines, is it?
Muslimus.
Oh, right.
And I chose a neutral background with these lovely, I look at it and this is the bit that I like the best.
Yeah.
The oranges and the neon. Anyway, so I've had this idea that with the crescent, because we're doing crescent shawls and then a cowl, that you could knit it in sections and button it together.
So you can
to
have a
make-
shawl.
So you can
or
have a
cowl.
shawl or a cowl. So
You should have steamed this.
yeah, I'm using Telling Yarns Resolute in the natural colourway. I wanted something. I wanted something really simple.
I was thinking there's something under there, like a ball of wool. It's a little sheep.
So I wanted really plain,
Why is that there?
showing me which side is the right
Oh,
side.
right, okay.
Um,
Thank you, sheepy.
so this is gorgeous yarn though, and when you look at it, it's got a little bit of zwobbles in, and it's got a tiny bit of black through the yarn. But I wanted something really simple. So this is garter, and then because you're going to do rib where you've put your, I mean, I guess you wouldn't have to have, you could just have plain, but makes it just a little bit of interest. So it's got garter and then a rib section,
Which will block out.
and then another,
Yeah.
and then so you have that bit.
That's your wing.
That's your
wing A.
Wing A. And then you overlap this bit
Where you button it.
where you button it. And then that's the
Centre.
The centre. And that's actually upside down.
Which becomes your cowl.
Which becomes your cowl. And then there'll be buttonholes on the end of that. And then another wing. And there's a few little details, like when on the end you do a couple of rows of stocking stitch, and then if this is a sewn bind off, so you get like this. It's a bit fluty and a bit like nice and decorative. Yeah, so that. In the last podcast, in the haul, I'd bought some buttons from Ethel and Joan that I was planning to use, and they are actually too small.
Yeah.
So I just the buttonhole I've done is just a yarn over knit two together.
Yeah, so it just depends, doesn't it?
Yeah, and they're just too big. So I was thinking, what could I use instead? And I have a button box that I inherited from my auntie when she passed away.
But she'd inherited.
She'd inherited from our grandmother,
Her mum.
her mum. So I went through and looked through, and there's all these different mother of pearl buttons that I think she's cut off things and kept.
Yeah.
And I'm going to put those on.
Yeah.
I'm actually going to look through and see if there's a fancy one.
Yeah.
Any fancier ones. I'm going to have a bit of a closer look. But I think they're lovely.
Yeah.
These old cream buttons. There's this one. That's a bit fancier.
And you're gonna.
And it's going to be called Granny Kathleen's Button Shawl. So so that will be coming after Alexander. I'm hoping that a couple of my fast knitting friends might offer to test knit, and then we can get it ready for big flock. It's fairly simple.
Joe's going to message you and ask you nicely. So watch out for a message from Joe.
Yeah. So I'm halfway through over halfway through the cowl. The only issue I've got is that I was 2 rows short on the yarn, so I'm going to have to redo some maths when I write the pattern, but it will be moderately different but not massively different from this idea. So what was I going to ask you then? But it's a really nice simple knit.
Yeah, it's lovely.
With enough interest to make you want to keep going.
Cool. I think that you need somebody to knit it in like traditional sock merino, because the buttonholes will be smaller.
Right.
Because this is quite, I think, feels like quite lofty yarn. Because you're a tight knitter.
I've got 2 skeins of...
That doesn't feel...
Yeah.
Like
I've got 2 skeins of Birdstreet tonals that I could send to somebody.
Yeah. Oh, that would be great.
But
It'd be really good if it could come out for big flock, because that would be...
I'd need somebody who could do it in like 4 weeks. So and bring it with them, maybe. Right.
So is that it?
That's it for.
Oh yeah, we've got some.
I've got a couple of acquisitions.
Ooh, you're right.
This yarn's beautiful. If you get a chance to buy telling yarn.
Yeah, this is her like baby really. She's spent ages working on the blend and stuff, didn't she?
With John Arben, and it's gorgeous. I've got a skein of the DK.
Are you taking anything with you to the Isle of Man that's here? Big for projects wise?
No.
Oh, I thought you.
Oh, Anthony. I keep calling him Anthony. Alexander.
Will you put that progress keeper in the bag with Alexander? And then you can go to Dad.
Yeah.
Yeah, so while Joe's doing that, I will. No.
So what acquisitions have you got?
One. Just got this.
Oh, right, okay.
One big one.
So
talk about yarn first. And then
yeah.
talk about...
I'm a sucker for Sandy Tom's D-stash. She said, she put a notice up saying that she'd dropped her prices. And I thought, oh, I'll go and have another look then. Tempt me with your price reductions. And I saw a few things that I loved.
Bit of a theme going on.
Yeah. So she's got quite a lot of ulan, however you say it. And I saw this DK. It's one of a kind. And I'm going to knit a hat in that. It's 100% merino.
I saw a really nice pattern that's just come out. I saw it on the Forest City Knit Girl. Knit
Girls. Knit. Anyway,
yeah. They test knitted it. That would be really cute. It's that fingering and mohair, but it's a really nice pattern.
So that's going to be a hat.
Or one of your patterns, I suppose.
And then this mohair, which is Japanese from Japan.
Wow.
Silken treasures from Japan.
Beautiful. That is beautiful.
Licked faden. 60% mohair and 40% silk. 440 metres in 80 grams.
Oh, so it's thicker than it's beautiful.
I think it needs to be like an Elton jumper.
Oh right, is there enough?
I don't know, but it's that, like if I could find something that,
Yeah. I was going to say like a one skein shawl, just that on its own.
Yeah, that's beautiful. And then there was a different skein of Olan singles, merino singles, which had already sold and she hadn't realised and she'd put it up.
Yeah.
So she said, would you like the soda bread one? So I was like, yes. So soda bread single sock came to my house. And I
Is
love
it it's not for socks though, is it?
It says single sock, fingering weight. No, you wouldn't get socks with that.
Too soft.
But it's gorgeous.
It is gorgeous.
So yeah, they were my three.
Right.
And then
When we were at the first hotel in Norwich, we went to dinner. I booked us a table for dinner at 7, and we realised that was exactly when Hohi's new bags were going on sale. So I think you went to the loo or something. You weren't. I was sat at the table on my own, and I bought them in the time that Joe was. And we can't buy two together because we have to pay the duty. So I bought them both and sent one to her address and one to my address. And then Hohi's team were messaging me, emailing me all week, and I only look at the focused emails. I don't look at the other ones. So all week.
Did you go through the others and just see if there's
Eventually I
anything
did.
else?
I looked. There was yeah. I did, but she'd written and said, "Did you mean to buy two?" Oh, we sent two because we haven't heard back from you. So I wrote back and said, "I did want two, and I wanted one for my sister at a different address." So it was perfect. So, we'll make you wait no longer. We have got the new Salter bag. SALTA, and it's just beautiful, and it's going to be in my handbag for a while. But it's unlined kind of box.
So this is the chocolate
Yeah,
colour.
it's got a big pocket on the inside.
There was a tan brown and a yellow
Mustard, wasn't it?
mustardy one.
And then it's got this little
Tassel.
So yeah,
It's gorgeous. It fits both of my shawl projects
right,
in their bags.
perfect. And it's got a little clip to fasten stitch markers and stuff.
Or your keys or
Yeah, because I'm going to see if my phone fits in the pocket.
it
And
does.
then it does. Okay. Yeah. So that's all our acquisitions.
Do you have any podcasts? to
Oh yeah.
recommend?
Well, I was going to say the Forest City Knit Girls. Oh, it might be Forest City. Anyway, it's Forest City.
We will put the
They're
link.
from Canada, London, Ontario, which is
Yeah.
called Forest City.
We'll put the link
Yeah.
into the.
And they've just got
show
a new
notes.
episode out, and there's 3 of them, and they know how to podcast, and they don't have a twin sister who talks over them all the time.
Have you watched the Knitting Posse?
No.
Because they're 3 friends
Yeah.
that podcast, and they all talk over each other
Right.
all the time.
Okay, so that's not too. We're not too
bad.
bad.
We're not as bad as that.
Yeah, so I really like them. 2 sisters and a friend. Yeah, so they're worth. Not worth the podcast to go and listen to. And another one that don't think we've talked about is Tiny Human Knits. She's also Canadian, and she dyes self-striping yarn, amazing self-striping yarn, which I've never bought because of it has to come from Canada. But she also does a lot of quilting and things like that. And she makes children's, like for her nieces and nephews, she makes quite a lot of jumpers and stuff. But really lovely. She's called Laura, I think, as well. Lots of Lauras. Yeah, so those are two that I've watched this week.
And I watched Amy's Knit Lab. Amy from Labby NMA and Julia had a. They were opening Amy's suitcase from. She's come back from a trunk show in Nebraska, and they were opening to show the samples that she'd taken with her and just talking through some of the stuff they'd been knitting and colours and stuff. And I love Labby NMA yarn. I'm knitting with it at the moment. I think it's beautiful. But their dynamic is really fun as well. And Amy was trying on some of the samples and showing how it goes with like her suit. She picked stuff in the yarn that the shop's got. So she'd got some older samples as well as the new stuff. And then she wears, it's her wardrobe while she's away as well. So it was really interesting to listen to that. And because I had watched that, I then went and watched Julia's podcast. So Julia has a podcast with her twin sister Emily, and they are really funny together.
Right. What's that called?
It's called Knit Twinnings. Their surname is Twinnings, and they're twins, which is I think is so cool.
Can't make up.
And they look really like one when Emily ties her hair back.
Yeah.
She dyes her hair a different colour to Julia, but when she ties it back,
they look the same.
They look really similar.
Wonder if we did that.
And
because you never tie your hair back.
I never tie my hair back. Julia likes to just cast. She'd cast stuff on
willy nilly.
Yeah, and Emily helps her finish things off, which I thought was quite sweet. So yeah, that's worth a watch. They've got about 15 episodes, I think, but they're half French and half English, so I don't know, it's just a different, because I'm so used to watching
different dynamic,
American and Canadian podcasts, that it's actually quite nice to listen to some Europeans. And the other one that I watched a lot of this week was Woolies by Celine. She's friends with Karen from Beautiful Knitters. She's Italian, a young girl who's but she knits her dad a jumper every Christmas and things like that. And she's got like quite a flair to what she knits. Yeah. She's quite fun.
Oh, so we'll put all those down below.
So yeah, sometimes I don't necessarily want to watch somebody's first podcast, but if they've got a few, then I'll go and have a look. Yeah. And I think we've said it before, but it's somebody's voice means whether I can listen to it or not, because some people's voice, it's like the training videos we get at work. And some people, they just make me, one, they make me go to sleep. Yeah. And there was one guy who, instead of using the word subsequent, he said subsequent, and that really irritated me. And it went all the way through the video. Training video. Had to watch it for work, and I was like, oh. So yeah, there is can put you off, can't it? But yeah, no, I like watching a variety of things because, new yarn, new patterns.
Yeah, patterns that you wouldn't think.
Yeah. So, and what is it, it's usually half an hour of your time, isn't it, while you're knitting? Yeah. And you never have to watch, you don't have to watch them again.
No, and it's nice, it makes me think, how do you pop up in someone's, how does the algorithm work? Because YouTube suggests our own podcast to us. So is it actually suggesting us to people?
I've got no idea.
Why would it suggest it to you? I mean, I suppose your algorithm, most things you look at are knitting that kind of works like that, but I don't know.
I really don't know how the algorithm works. But anyway, if you found us because it just popped up in your feed and you happen to have enjoyed watching,
Like and
subscribe. We've got quite a few you can go back and watch.
Yeah. And we'll
I go back and watch some of our old episodes sometimes. I'll go back to look for something, and then I'll start watching it because sometimes I make myself laugh.
Cool.
So have a great fortnight, everybody. We'll be back in 2 weeks' time. I'll have been to the Isle of Man, so I'll probably have some tales of Cecil,
and we will be excitingly talking about the launch of Alexander later that week. So
yeah. Right.
We're off for a little trip to Abingdon.
Yeah.
And
I might have to get changed because it looks like I'm going to need a jacket.
To my LYS. Say hello to those guys and have a lovely afternoon together.
Yeah. So happy knitting, everybody.
Take care.
Yeah. And we will see you soon. Bye.
Bye.